Welcome to Puck Talk CS. We have a huge guest on today, Based Shesty, OG Base Shay. He's been on Twitter for years now, 16,000 followers. He garners them through, I think, just the most natural comedy I've seen in my life. I think he's just the most genuine Ranger fan on the internet. Thanks for joining us. I know that's not your name, Based Shesty. Give us a little bit of your background.
Sure. So first of all, what an intro, boys. I'll remind me to pay you for that after the interview. But yeah. So my name is Andrew. I'm from Jersey. Became a Ranger fan. My parents, was by birth. I became a Ranger fan. Been didn't really follow it when I was a kid all that much, but really started getting into the team in like 2007, 08 when like Yager was still on the team and those guys. So I just got naturally attached, and obviously the King. No one's talking about the Rangers. Everyone's like, Rangers suck, Mets suck. I'm a Mets fan too. So it was getting old, just hearing all the insults and the chirps. So I'm like, all right, I don't use Twitter all that much. I'll hop on, see if anyone's, takes an interest in what I got to say about them. And here we are. So that's a bit of a background on me.
So it started with a little bit of therapy.
Yes, yeah, for sure, for sure. It was mostly an escape from all the Philly fans. Why I really hopped on the Bird app, or I guess X now. But yeah, it's been brutal. I mean, as soon as I got there, I wasn't even there a year. The letter comes out. They're trading all the way the good players, and I was hoping for Peter Holland. I was banging on Peter Holland on the power play. It was a disaster.
throwing some
But now
bones
we're
down on
here. Now
that.
we're here, fellas.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve was a big
But yeah,
betting
man.
guy, so I'm sure he can relate. I mean,
Oh,
when did
Steve,
when did
they're draining my account, man.
I was gonna say, you big on betting hockey because hockey's a tough sport to bet. It really is.
Not so much during football season. I mean, football's the best. You get the parlay going, you got red zone on. You can't. Hockey, I do, but what I'm learning more recently is not to bet with my heart because I'm always betting on the Rangers. I'm like, dude, Rangers by a million, and then they go out and they lose 6-0 to like the Blue Jackets or something. So it's just it's I gotta learn. I'm learning the hard way, but I've been better at it. But yeah, hockey's tough. Hockey's tough.
real talk though? When do things take off on Twitter, man? Like, what was the first thing? The jumping in the ocean? I mean, that got Valley's attention, I think, right? Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. So I would say it really started to take off the COVID year. A
mm,
lot of the bigger accounts on Twitter who I really liked when I was starting out, like I don't know, I drop some names. I won't get everyone, but like Fitz,
mhm,
Hockey Stat Miner, those guys. I just interacted with them. They followed me. They would promote my stuff, retweet it. Ryan and Greg are two other guys who were just awesome dudes. And
mhm.
I would just post videos, and they would always just promote my content, and then it was giving me the retweets and stuff. And from there it kind of took off. But what I would say it really like I was like, okay, like I got like a following here was when what you might call it, right after the what was that called? The play-in. Right after the
Uh-huh.
play-in. Like beginning of the year after. I forget what year it was, actually, but the Rangers had a preseason game against the Islanders, and Filip scored a hat trick that game.
Oh
So I
yeah.
started a Twitter Spaces had just become a thing, and like I started a space and I DM'd Bill Pito, and I said, "Hey Bill, like if you want to join my space, man, like we're just talking puck," and he joined it, and the space was called like F the Islanders. So I had like so many people listening to the space, and then I just got followers from there, and that's when I really say it's going to take off. I was like, oh, holy cow! Like if Bill Pito is joining your space, like
Yeah.
that
You know what?
helps. So yeah.
I actually got lucky too. I was in touch with Bill Pito because he saw I called the national championship. I feel like an old man already talking about it for Quinnipiac. They won. That was the school I went to. It was sick. Overtime
That's
win.
dope. That's
Bro,
dope. What a
I
win
did
that was. That would a
right
win
now is
that was.
crazy, man.
Yeah, that was
And
awesome. That was
e-
awesome. Was
every
that the
player I
first in
was like,
program history? Was that the first one?
first in the school's history. Like for
Wow,
any
man.
sport.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
That's awesome.
Bill Pito, I'm taking a shower one day, my phone's ringing off the hook. I'm like, oh, who needs me? So I get out. It's my dad. He's like, dude, you got to check Twitter. Bill Pito just asked you, like, can we use the video? I was like, on Twitter. So it's pretty cool to have those spotlights. Now you were also chirped at by Nashville,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah. So it wasn't a chirp. So back the 21-22 season, I was like at a bar. I was after work. I was waiting for a train. The NJ Transit's the worst. I was working in the city at the time,
Yeah.
And I just like messaged the Nashville Predators account. I was like, hey, like let's put a wager on this game. Like I'm so bored. Like if they win, you got to say I know puck, and if the Rangers lose, like I'll buy a Predator jersey and donate to like the proceeds or whatever to the Predator Pecorine Foundation. So they were like, all right, like we'll take that bet. Dude, Filipino has a game. Sammy Blais, many people don't remember. Sammy Blais had like a sick pass to Lafreniere. Yeah, toe dragged. Like, I was like, holy cow. And the Rangers won that game. And when that happened, I was like, holy cow. Because once they tweeted, I think that was like my peak. That was the peak of the app. And then, that playoff run, the ocean, it was freezing, just doing stupid stuff on Twitter, man. That's really what it came down to.
With the Rangers though, you crush a few while you're watching them. Like, what's your go-to move?
Well, depending on how the game's going, that's if it's we're down 4-0 and Andre Pavlik's coming in the net, that's all right. We got a bottle. We're down in a bottle of something. But no, recently, just with work and stuff, when they play during the week, not much, but on the weekends and stuff, it's always nice to crack a couple, watch the boys, and hope they pull out a W. Hopefully I didn't do anything stupid and bet on them because, if you get invested emotionally and financially, it becomes a little tougher.
There you go, sinking the ship.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm starting.
The last during the 6-game win streak, you would have pulled out. It's funny you mentioned that Columbus game. I actually bet that Columbus game too.
Yeah, that was my first big one. There
we go.
Yeah,
in the same boat.
Tough. Boone Jenner legacy game, of course, just because when I throw bills on it, of course, Boone Jenner goes out and has the game legacy. Of his life.
And of course, the goals that we got taken off the board too. I'm sure I'm not the only one that was ripping my hair out.
I was in I was at a bar that night, and like I was just sitting there, and it's not really a Rangers bar, so I was kind of just like the only one that was like invested in the game, and I was just like person at the TV. Like I was just like, yeah, if people are staring at me, like I'm just like, all right, like I can't be doing this. I can't make this a habit of going by myself to bars and screaming at the TV when people are just trying to eat.
It's like the over 50 bar. Yeah, like you got a bunch of old heads there, like your aunts and uncles, and they're looking at you like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Yeah. Like, these guys are all these guys are like, I was live when they won it at 94. And I'm like, it's tough. If I wasn't, I just got to hear the whole spiel. And I wish I was alive. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, no, unfortunately, you're watching Boone Jenner drop patties on us these days.
All right. So let's get right to it, Andrew. What's your bold take for this year?
Bold take for this year. Oh, man. Well, if you had asked me at the beginning of the year, I would have thought Filip would have had a year and a half. I would have thought he would have been like up there in points, top 3 on the team. But now that he's hurt, I think that takes a big hit. My bold prediction this year. Man, that's tough. Because like at the beginning of the year, I'd have been like Kakko 60 points, and now like Wheeler's on like the first line. Like I would say if I were to give you a bold prediction this year, I think it's a good question. I think Will Cooley is going to be, already he's showing the signs, but I think he's going to be more of an impact than we think he's going to be. He's showing all the signs already. He's getting to the dirty areas. He's scoring clutch goals. He's doing what he's supposed to do on defense. That line of him, Trocheck, and Wheeler was really shut down there for a little bit. So I think he's going to, I don't know how much, I don't know how many points, but I think he's going to be like a 40 point player. I know he's a rookie and expectations aren't super high, but I think I think he does a lot of things right. So I wouldn't be shocked.
Little lights out tech for him. I like that one. I was feeling a little Will Cooley conversation at some point today. I think that Carolina goal was dirty, man. Like just darted back door.
What a play by Trouba, man.
By 8.
Oh
on God. Tony D too.
Yeah, bro. It is and I texted one of my friends after. If you go back and watch the goal, I don't know if you clip this episode, a little preview, but if you can find this clip, Brady Shea and Tony DeAngelo are behind their own net with Cooley just wide open. And you're like, there's something poetic about that. Like, like I remember seeing that against us so many times. Like,
yeah, like you're saying,
watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, like we're down 6-0 in Columbus.
You just see Brady Shea and Tony like turn their heads to the You just see Brady and Tony just like turn their heads to the front of that, and there's Cooley just all out. I'm like, I remember seeing like Colton Sissons like score like 2 goals just like that, like back in 2017. Like,
Yeah, that is prime time hockey right there, though. I mean, they had that big
yeah,
game against Carolina. I want to know,
huge.
Andrew. Now we're going all time here. What is your
Talk to
best
me
take? What's your best and worst take ever?
for like the Rangers ever.
Ever.
Oh man, okay, we're going big time. All righty. My best, well, I can tell you what my worst take was because I had an account called Base Shea, and I thought Brady Shea was going to be like Victor Hedman.
Him.
Yeah, yeah. He's still great. I mean, career high in goals last year. He's still solid for the Canes offensively, but obviously didn't turn into that number one wheel that I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But my best take of all time. That's tough. Best take of all time. I always thought Filip was going to take the leap. So to see him light up the playoffs like he did in 2022, when like, it was kind of questions, we got a 3-1, like who's going to step up? The Canes got a 2-0 lead and he just starts lighting it up. And then the cherry on top was the Ray Ferraro. You got to think if you're Carolina here, you can get one in the next 5. And then it's like Chytil all alone. He scored. And it just goes, never mind. Like, just like that was, I'd say, like, I never really tweeted about it. But like one thing that I always tell like my dad and stuff is like 72, like he's gonna be nasty. Like just wait.
Bro,
Once he
I'll
gets that
tell you
opportunity,
this.
and he did.
I'll tell you this, man. I'm now this I'm not, one of those I'm religious Christmas. It's like the year they drafted him and then he played like 4 games and he looked like Bambi out there playing Colorado. This is like
Yeah,
start like day one
his
of the rebuild, bro. I'm
17,
like
18, yeah, yeah,
I
nasty
got
hair,
I got
nasty.
I got a 72 jersey.
I got
I
one
got
too.
bro, I was a
I got one
believer.
too.
I
I
was like
was I
he's
was a heel
dog.
truther, man. It's like he's gonna be a go. He made the opening night roster that year, and then
Yeah.
like Toronto was I think it was the first game that we played in Toronto or something. And he
Uh-huh.
like I was like all hyped, and AV played him like 2 minutes, like gave him the Stu Pickle treatment. Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, brutal, brutal. But yeah, I would say that's my best and worst takes that I can think of right now.
Yeah, all right. I hear you on that. I think we all have that the top takes and the bad takes that we just take in stride. With Peter Laviolette, how you digging the way he's got things going? I feel like for Ranger fans, we always kind of drop the hammer on big ol' Barry Trotz with the Islanders, and now we're looking like a pretty defensive team. So I don't know what you're thinking on that. We have Artemi, we got Mika, but like now all of a sudden they're playing this neutral zone trap. I want to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So one of the first things I noticed, I went to the preseason game in Jersey, and that was the first time I really got a good look at the team. The 1-3-1, man, Laviolette seems to like that, with the neutral zone trap. So you expected a more of a defensive structure, which is great. They're the first couple of games that are really keeping the puck out of the net. Besides a couple of stinkers, Columbus, Nashville, and this last game in Minnesota, to name a few. But I felt like they were playing really good, solid defense. Everyone knew their role, and they got arguably one of the best goalies in the game in that. So like, all they got to do is just keep the shots to the outside, and there's a pretty good chance they're not going in. So I think defensively they have really stepped up and are playing a really solid defensive game. And not only Peter Laviolette, the guys they brought with them, Michael Pekka, just into faceoffs, winning faceoffs now, so which is something that they really struggled with for a while. So stuff like that, I think, did an impact. Where the jury's still out on Laviolette's system is the 5-on-5 offense. It's
Mm-hmm.
struggling. It's obviously it's not there right now. And we got to see where it will be, when the games really start to matter and we're into the season and players are getting used to the system. So we'll see what happens with that. But, right now, honestly, man, I can't complain. No complaints here. I know Taco Wheeler got a switch, and obviously you want your number 2 pick to be on the top line. But, I'll give him a couple of games before I start throwing out any complaints or anything. But, yeah, I mean, I like what I see so far, if that's that answers the question there.
Over the summer, news breaks, Gallant out, Laviolette comes in. What was your first emotion after hearing Gallant's out the door and Laviolette comes in? Were you with Gallant going out, and did you support Laviolette being the hire?
Good question. So you knew something drastic was going to happen after that Devil series. You just knew like that wasn't to their standards. At least you think that wasn't to their standards. Something's going to go down. And after it came out that like I think Drury and Gallant got in like an argument or something behind closed doors after like game 4, I think it was, or something.
Mm-hmm.
You knew something was going to go down. So when Gallant got fired, I wouldn't say it was so much of a shock. It was just more like, all right, like now Drury's got to make arguably the most important hire of his tenure so far. And, there was a couple of guys going around. I forget the guy's name in Hartford right now. No Block, I think it is.
No
Chris
block,
Knobloch.
yeah.
That name was floating around. I remember at one point someone tweeted that John Hines was getting interviewed. So you were like, oh, God, like, they're ups and downs and stuff. But I think Laviolette for Drury was the safe hire for him because he's been around the league and stinks we get the coaching carousel. Obviously, you want somebody new that you can maybe see if he makes an impact. But I think where Drury's at right now, he doesn't want to take the risk of hiring somebody new. And he wanted someone that he felt like, I guess, he could trust. So he went with a recycled coach in Laviolette. So far out the gate, they're, what are they now? 8-2-1. It's proved to work, but you just got to see if it's the long-term success is where it's at. But I don't think there's any question that this is the most important decision so far of Drury's, tenure of hiring the next coach to take this team. Talent's there. It's just a matter of can they over the hump and really here. So
No, I think something that I know you're a baseball guy. My girlfriend's a Mets fan, so I'm a Yankees guy. I feel like I'm getting kind of more looks at the whole league than I ever have in my life. You're watching the Rangers. Is there a baseball team you could compare them to? You know what I mean? Like by the key players,
man.
like
that's a really good question. Oh man. Who is a baseball team I compare the Rangers to? I don't know. Just based on location, it's like, okay, the Yankees, but like, I don't know. Like, I mean, recently,
This is a stumper.
yeah, I feel like I always say the Maple Leafs remind me of
You read my
the
mind.
Yankees and the Cowboys of football. Like I feel like they just can't get over the hump.
team that I guess it would be the Yankees, right? Like you feel like they have all the talent in the world, and they got one really really talented player, and Judge, and they got other guys, guys like Fox and stuff that I'm sure people could come up with Yankee equivalents better than I can. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the one that comes to mind is the Yankees right now off the bat. But if I sat down and really thought about it, I could probably give you a better answer. But I don't know, man. It's definitely not the Mets because they built that stadium on some ancient burial ground. So they're cursed for all eternity. So I don't think the Rangers are cursed, hopefully. But, we'll see.
Yeah, you know what? In my mind, the first team that came to mind for me was actually Atlanta. I feel like that might be a stretch, but I feel like the Rangers got these guys locked up for like 4 or 5 years. It's just a matter of like when are they going to win?
Yeah.
But,
and the only reason why I wouldn't say Atlanta right now is because they won a title in 21.
Yeah, true.
They actually won with the core.
They broke through.
So, but I don't know. I could see Atlanta too. Yeah, just once, man. Just need one. I just need one.
One.
I don't care after that. House money after that, man. Just give me one and I'll be good.
All right, Andrew, to finish us off here, I was cooking up while I was sub teaching today. Kids are doing their assignment. I'm like,
he's cooking, all right, folks.
Speed round. Okay. I'm going to ask you just some questions, some fun ones. We're going to see what your answers are. And feel free to elaborate if you want to. Sound good?
Gotcha. Fire away, man. I'm all ears.
All right.
Yeah,
Gucci,
fire
man.
Away.
All right. Who's your favorite New York Ranger right now?
Adam Fox.
Adam Fox, period. The Jericho Kid. All right. Who's your favorite New York Ranger of all time?
Oh, man. Okay. I can think of two. Ryan Callahan or Henry Lundqvist.
All right. OGs. Little King talk.
OGs.
I like that.
I got like 6 Callahan jerseys. Like he was my guy. But also
he was the GOAT.
the King is just like my dog. Like, he's our guy. Like
he's our guy. He's the guy.
Tough to not pick him.
What was your thoughts on the Marty St. Louis trade then when that happened?
Listen, I love Marty. You can't hate Marty. I mean, that 2014 run, it was really special. He lost his mom and stuff and scored that huge goal and really came up big for us. I loved him, but Callahan, man, he's my dog. And regardless if it's a good trade or not, when your dog gets traded, you're devastated. So
Yeah.
what was that? 2013 he got traded, 2014.
Yeah.
So I was freshman year of high school. I was
Yeah.
pretty devastated at school. I got the notification on my iPhone, whatever the hell it was at that time, 6 or 5. Pretty upset, not gonna lie, but I didn't hate it. I really didn't hate it.
All right, who's a team you dislike the most?
New Jersey Devils. No, not even.
Yeah, bar none.
Not even second guess. After I tell people, arguably and listen, like I hate the Penguins, like, Islanders I don't like, but like one of the worst days of my life was Adam Henrico, and I just have not been able to get over it since. So that's why. And then last year, and
this damn team will give us
again.
closure, bro. They couldn't.
I know, bro.
2012 happens 10 years later. We're like, come on, exercise the demon.
This is it. They're up 2-0. Kako, the kid line are cooking. They're in their zone for 3 minutes, and then what happened after that. But yeah, I mean, 2012 was really like one of my first, like, biggest heartbreak.
Oh yeah, that was.
Go back to Ali Jokinen stopped in the shootout. Like brutal. Jersey friends, they let me hear about it all the time. So I would say the Devils.
Devils are it. All right. How about who's a player that surprised you this season?
Player that surprised me this season. Might be a little early, but Jonathan Quick played really good out the gate. Will Cooley looking as comfortable as he does really, really surprised me. And honestly, like Lafreniere, I mean, for a while there, he was really, really looking really good. I mean, the points haven't been, the last couple of games haven't been there, but I mean, those first couple of games when he's making plays away from the puck and doing the right things, getting it to Panarin, and Lafreniere really, I think obviously it's not the huge leap we all want, but I think he's playing better and looks more comfortable as each game goes on for sure.
Yeah, he had that breakaway tech against the Winnipeg Jets. He went in. I was hoping he'd tuck that away.
I thought that would have exercised some demons, and then he gave a fan in the 300s a souvenir, which is brutal. But yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, how about who's your favorite? So your favorite all-time Ranger is probably Hanker Callie?
Yeah.
All right, and who's your celebrity crush?
Oh man. Well, if you've been following me for a while, I may or may not have tweeted at Alexander Daddario a few times asking her what she's doing on Friday.
You're a few deep and just letting them rip.
Listen, boys, when you're 20-something, like you got like 2K followers, you're like, I am the next Brad Pitt. Like the Alex Daddario, she's gonna she's mine. Like
she's it for you, huh? Were you ever like
yeah.
Now you were talking about accounts taken off peak 21. That was like Dua Lipa summer. Were you ever a Dua Lipa guy?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Dua Lipa is incredibly attractive. But I mean, you got to stick with your OGs. And ever since Percy Jackson, it's been Alex Daddario for me. So that's been
Percy Jackson
my number one.
All right.
Yeah. That's
and you
where
say,
I was like, okay.
Would you say you're a bigger Ranger fan than Met fan, or like, are we talking equals here?
Ranger. It's like if I was to do a chart, it's like Rangers, like just because my parents are originally from Arizona.
Okay.
Phoenix Suns is like down there, but I really don't watch basketball that much. Yeah.
Wow. That's a deep cut fact, man.
Yeah, deep cut fact. Not many people know that. I am a Phoenix Suns fan because my dad got relocated for work out there. And when he got relocated, that was when like they had like I think it was Nash, Shaq was on the team for a little bit. And Stoudemire. So like he really liked Lon when he came back to Jersey.
That's great, man. And now number one, man. This is like the all-time question I've had for you forever. Like, out of all the running jokes, out of all the memes, out of everything, what was your favorite like shtick or like back and forth conversation? Like, what was your, like, you look back on the account now, what was your favorite? Like, man, that was good when it lasted.
Oh man, that's another good question, boys. You guys are firing them off here.
Letting him
I don't
rip.
mean to take up all this time, and I'm trying to think now. You guys got me thinking. Dang.
Listen, the thinker over here.
Um, um, my favorite shtick that stuck around, or just like a one-off combo on Twitter. I think the most fun I ever had on Twitter was the Predators night. But the funniest shtick that always makes me laugh is the Michael Irvin what are you prepared to do about it video.
Yes.
I use it so much because I crack up every single time I use it. Like I just think it's the funniest video of all time. Like Michael Irvin, like you just watch him on ESPN, and every 5 seconds it's another clippable moment with that guy. Like he's just, I don't know what it is, but he is just unbelievable. But yeah, so off the rip, I would say funniest probably the Predators. Bill Pito on the space is a very close second. But yeah, and then running shtick is whenever, I don't know, it's some stupid stuff like I don't know, like Zach Jones gets called up or something. I'm like, Jones, they're saying the lights are too bright, and then he just posts Michael Irvin, man, it's the best. Just the fact that I get to like, I don't know, do stuff that like I still find entertaining to go on Twitter, and I make myself laugh, and it makes other people laugh. And that's really awesome to me. Like I can't say like, oh, this one was, that's it, like I'll never, because I always have fun on there. People are hysterical. I mean, slander hours, come on. I mean, the replies are always great.
All timer with that.
So
MJ smoking, ripping a cig.
Just the fact that, yeah, bro, it's the best. I love it. Ripping the cig and got the baseball bat, it's the best.
And it's coming
so yeah,
too.
Man, honestly, like just the fact that I do things that, yeah, after a big win, everyone, yeah. So I would say every day, and just have to. So I love it all.
That's awesome, man. I mean, yeah, you got some good content. I gotta give you that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate
tip of the cap, bro. That's, I mean, if
I
I ever
really
needed it, I gotta say, I think I speak for a lot of Ranger heads out there. There have been more than one days. It's not heads down. I open Twitter up. I see Shesty tweet, and it just brings me up. In the darkest hours of Ranger history recently.
Brutal. It's been brutal. I gotta be honest, but honestly, the fact stuff like that means a lot to me, man. I just I love making people laugh. But at the end of the day, like if I'm not enjoying it, I wouldn't keep doing it. I love it. I'm not getting paid for it. It's just all for my entertainment, and people love it too. So just all happy stuff, man. It's great. But yeah, means a lot that I could go on there and just tweet like Libor Hayek. And if you say that at a family gathering, everyone's like, who's that? But if I tweet it on Twitter, everyone's like, oh, the kayak. Yeah, it's just great. It's a lot of fun. I love it.
Libor Hayek, man. Yeah, I mean, you probably got generations of, speaking of feeding generations, that one's my new favorite. Gotta give that one. That one's good. Every time I think of my buddies that sports bet like Steve-O, I'm always like, he is probably on his knees right now on the TV.
Yeah,
so that one's a good one.
Sometimes it's an exaggeration. Other times it's not. Like sometimes I got the GDP of a small country on like Blake Wheeler anytime assist. So it's like, Wheeler, you just pass the puck to Panarin. You have the opportunity to feed a family tonight.
Like come on, man. Give it a
just pass the puck. Just pitch it to him, man. Just find him, and he'll put it in the back of the net.
Every now and then I'm feeling that way about Kako. You just moved him up and down the lineup. It's like, man, just come on. You're on the power play. Feed Foxy, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I really want to say like the points will come with Kako. Unfortunately, I'm not. This is what, year 5 he's been with the team, year 6, something like that. So it's like you obviously want the points to be there, but man, he looks really responsible defensively. Like when he's out there on the PK in his own zone, I trust him. It's just he's just got to find a way to get the points, and if it isn't his line is because Mika, Kreider's got some amount of goals, but a lot of them are on the power play, and Mika's only got 1 goal 5v5 and stuff. So I think that once this starts to click, like the system, and they really understand their roles and really know what they're doing, the points will come. It's just a matter of, man, the kid's got like incredible talent. Like they didn't draft the number 2 overall because of like his name. Like, although it's an elite name, they didn't just draft his name. The kid's got talent. Like, he does. That's why he went second overall. So once he finds that confidence, man, and maybe playing with Kreider and Mika for a little longer under a new system, getting used to it, more responsibility. Now he's on the first line. He's played against top guys. Like, I really still have confidence in him. I really do. So we'll see. The only time will tell with this team, as we've known for God. When's the last time they won a cup? The only time will tell, but we'll see. I like to be hopeful though. I like to be optimistic until I literally can't be anymore because they're either eliminated or the Mets have done something stupid, and I take it out on the Rangers.
Well, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. This was truly a pleasure. We got a bunch of special guests lined up, but I was like, this is the guy. Like, if we're going to start a chain reaction of people coming on the show, it's got to start with our class clown here, Base Shesty. Sound off. What's one thing on a platform you've always wanted to say about your Ranger fandom or about the fans?
Oh, man. Just anything? Spotlight's mine right now?
Spotlight's yours, man.
Okay. What can I say? Don't become a Mets fan. That's the first thing I got to say. Don't do it. If you weren't born into it, don't do it. What else been a platform, man? It's been a while since you won a cup, and I know it's frustrating, especially after last year's loss and the new coach and getting patience and now the injuries and stuff. But, man, there's too much talent on this roster to not have faith in these guys. And if they are the guys that this is the core, they can do it, they will do it, and whether it's a new coach or something, I got faith. So regardless if I say it's over after a stupid thing or something, I always believe, because that's what keeps you going. It's the hope and the want to win a championship. So the thing I'll say is, as a Mets fan, this can't be more true as a Mets fan. After all these years of not winning it, when the Rangers finally do win one, whenever that may be, fellas, tell me it's not going to be a movie.
Listen, Andrew, we are waiting for it's over. The peak though is we're so back, baby. It is going to be a movie.
You can't even quantify it. Like, if they win a cup, we are so back. Like, you can't. There's no number. Like, yeah, numbers are endless, but how do you even like Rangers hoisting a cup and being at a parade? 80%.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Andrew. Puck Talk CS. A pleasure to start you off with our chain of guests. And be sure to like, follow, subscribe to us here. We got that Instagram. We on Twitter. I'm on Twitter writing for the hockey news. We got a bunch coming your way. Steve-O, why don't you take us away?
Well, again, Andrew, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. We'll have your content linked below. I got to say, when Travis
Thanks for having me
to check you out, your content was awesome, man. Keep it up. Like, I kept scrolling and scrolling. It was that enjoyable. So thank you. Everyone go check him out. And always remember, it's just the luck of the puck.
It's the luck of the puck. I love it, boys. I love it. Follow these guys too, man. Follow them.